Hey guys, this is Carlos Arvizu and welcome to my art channel. I know this video has been well requested for quite some time. I've been meaning to get to it. I've just been really lazy, and I did intend to do a tutorial at some point. I finally got around to it. I have done this piece before. I didn't have the iPad at the moment, so I was playing on Photoshop and just playing around with some. When I painted it on Photoshop, it was just me, just playing around, seeing how digital art works, playing around with brushes, and just doing this little painting I wanted to do of Light Fury. But obviously I couldn't record that, or at least I didn't know how to, which is why I wanted to invest in an iPad, because I heard it was much simpler, obviously much cheaper than Photoshop, and I got a hold of one. It took some tinkering, but I finally got one, and for like about a year now, I'm really new at this whole YouTube thing. I've only been at this for a year, and so far it's just been me uploading speed paints and time lapses of what I've done on Procreate. It's been pretty fun. I've actually enjoyed it very much. I think I have grown pretty quickly in using Procreate with my art skills. I got into digital art in high school during my senior year. I noticed that my design teacher had obviously when you have a design teacher, I had graphic design that came with the class obviously came with all of Adobe programs, which I didn't realize till a little later in the class that stuff's expensive, and if I wanted to do this as a career, at least concept art or illustration, or like any of you I think want to do this, affording these programs would be kind of pricey for some people, and so every day during lunch I would take advantage of the tools he had and the programs. And I would notice that to my left, he always had this huge tablet. I didn't know what it was, so I asked him, what's that tablet you got over there? And he tells me that it's what they call a Cintiq. It's a drawing tablet. Apparently, it's what professionals use. So I wound up looking it up, and apparently that's how I wound up finding. I wound up getting introduced to digital art. So every day during lunch, that's when I would show up to his class, start working on that painting. I got into digital art so late through high school. It sucks, but I know. I didn't start taking my art that seriously until I was introduced to digital art, because I learned that this is the way I would actually turn this and what I love to do into a career. And I actually enjoy it. I find digital art very fun. I know that there's many of you who can't afford tablets, or who can't afford to do digital art, and it took me a while too, but I wound up working for it. And well, I guess if you want it, you will get it eventually. Okay, but I did, and I found the art I would be doing very, very much impressive. That I felt I built up a good self-esteem. But at the same time, when I got introduced to digital art, I got introduced to the digital world, and that started lowering my self-esteem, because I started realizing that there was a whole world of people who can draw, and much better than me. I was so shocked. Like, I spent years thinking that I was number one, and now that I log online and see what this stuff really is, I'm like below -0. But I've come to learn that I'm not. I'm just one among many, and so are you guys. Okay, I tend to struggle at times now with a little bit with quite a bit of art block, and sometimes it's very stressful for me, but I try to work my way past that. I try not to get so caught up in it. Like, and art block is very more frequent when you try coming up with your own craft, like stuff aside from fan art. And don't get me wrong, fan art's great. I mean, that's how I learn. I mean, people who tell you that you shouldn't be doing fan art, it's hocus pocus, okay? It's not true. Fan art is a really good media. I think when people tell you that you shouldn't be doing fan art, is you shouldn't stick to fan art, and that's what I agree with them, okay? Fan art is a really good way to learn and get your foot in the door, but if you really want to grow as an artist and really be like the studio worthy and a studio worthy artist, which is one day what I hope to do. I mean, I'm still in school, but I really hope to get into that kind of field when the day comes, and I'm still working up to it. But developing your own craft is, I think, it is a very essential skill. So coming up with your own ideas, your own originality is what really is like it's what really pushes you as an artist, and that's what I'm trying to do. I mean, obviously this is a fan draw episode because you guys have been asking for a tutorial, so something I can whip up kind of quickly. But I have been developing my own personal work, which I found to be very fun, and you guys can too. I sometimes struggle with a lot of ideas, but if like when I do, I suggest you guys do the same thing I do. Okay, when you struggle with finding ideas or inspiration on what to draw, go on ArtStation or DeviantArts or wherever you get your art inspiration. Okay, log on to those places, and instead of depicting the art and kind of looking at it as the enemy, and like people who like surpass you by greatness, look at it as people and other artistic ideas that have the same goal as you, people who want what you do. And so you can take these ideas and they can really work to your advantage, okay? If you have no ideas, this is what I do. Go on ArtStation, go through the search bar and look up environments, character designs. You will see a ton of ideas that are very helpful for you. I find them to be very helpful, okay? This painting of Light Fury, I love How to Train Your Dragon. Draw what you love, okay? I've been drawing Toothless my entire childhood. If I can't even literally tell you how many drawings I have, how many times I've drawn him. I'm sure it's a freaking big number. It's probably a bigger number than the amount of minutes this thing took to make. Okay, I really love to draw. Like everyone has their own set style, okay, and style doesn't always have to be an urgent thing, okay. Everyone has their own way of doing things, okay? I like drawing fantasy. Some people like doing anime. Some other people like doing comic illustrations, and other people like cartoons. Like, we're all different, and it's pretty cool, okay? That there's a large media of people who are different than you, but rather at the same time the same, okay? I love fantasy because it brings me great joy to see things that aren't real, things that are like awesome dragons and worlds and other creatures, and I like that stuff. It's amazing to me. I have a huge obsession with superheroes and monsters and other like aliens. I love that stuff. It's awesome. That's probably why I don't have any normal That's why I have so much fan art. But I think because I do so much fan art, it's why I got so good so quickly. I think that if you want to progress in your art skills, one tip that I would recommend is draw over pros. Okay, learn from people who are better than you. Okay, yes, it's a little intimidating at first, but take advice from people who are better than you. Learn from people who have done what you want. I would always, sometimes when I was learning, I would just take a painting from from professionals. I would or take images from like really good images from the internet and just like paint over them. Literally, don't just like do it just for the sake of doing it. Don't do it like, I mean, have fun while you're doing it, but pay attention to why decisions were made when you were going over this painting. Like, why did they put this color here? Why is the light source coming from over here? Why is this line work the way it is? Like, really pay attention to that stuff. It really pushes the boundaries and the limits of your work. Now, I know it's not that easy coming up with your own material. Sometimes, I mean, it's I like doing a fan art every now and then, but I'm trying to limit myself with fan art a bit. I want to start doing more of my own material, which I have been doing for quite a while. But I think getting into the rhythm of things and finally developing your own craft is where you have really your own voice now. Or because once you start developing your own craft, you start to have like it starts to show what you can bring to the table, like what you can do and what you are capable of. And that's I've actually come to find out that's what studios look for. Okay, they look for unique people who can offer more than what they ask. Okay, and I try to do some exotic paintings. Like, I really try to push the boundaries on what I can do, and you guys should do the same. Okay, like, go crazy. It is art. There are no limits. What was the last? What was one of the few last paintings I did? I drew myself on a sea monster underwater. I found that was actually in my childhood. Okay, little fun story. My imagination as a kid was it was insane. You would actually be surprised how stupid I was as a kid. I would watch so many superhero movies, and oh my god, my entire world was not this one. It was the Fantastic Four, it was Iron Man, it was dragon movies. Okay, I saw the Fantastic Four for the first time when I was a kid. I was convinced that you can get powers from electrocution. Okay, me and my brother went to an outlet. We even made our own little weird ugly serum out of glue sticks and dirt and all kinds of crap. Okay, it was so stupid. And then I was like 8 or 7, I don't know, like maybe 9, and I'm supposed to be the example here. Okay, he's my little brother. I tell him, I run into his room and I tell him we are going to get superpowers today. So we cook up a little weird concoction made of glue sticks, dirt, like grass, and all kinds of weird stuff. And we literally have we're so excited to get these superpowers that we actually play rock paper scissors to see which one of us goes first. Okay, like, it was just going back and forth. It was, no, I want to go first. No, I want to go first. No, I want to go first. And like, it was so dumb. Okay, so we played rock paper scissors until I eventually won. And so I take the paper clip, I dip it in our serum, because obviously, like the movie, you can't get powers just from electrocuting yourself. You need some kind of super serum like in the movies. And so we dipped the paper clip in the outlet, and I electrocuted the hell out of myself. Okay, I literally burnt my finger to a crisp. Okay, that was the dumb and wild imagination I had as a kid. Okay, and I still have that. Obviously, I'm smarter now, and I know outlets are stupid to shove paper clips in, but I still loved imagination. I loved the superpowers. I love the heroic aspect of things. I like dramatic and dynamic characters. Okay, and obviously, you guys have your own stories. You guys have your own tales. And that's what I like to do, okay? How I come up with such good, like the paintings I work like the paintings I've recently worked on are childhood memories. Okay, they're old things that I have had in my childhood, and I just wanted to bring to life now to see that I see what I can do as an artist. Okay, point is, like, we're all different, okay, and we all have our own have our own way of expressing ourselves. Okay, mine was always fantasy and superheroes. Yours is probably something else. Okay, and use that to grow as an artist. When you put your own personal feelings, your own emotions, your own memories, your own thoughts into your work, it's when you really grasp the specialness of your, like, it's when your work is really worth something. Okay, when you really add who you are to your pieces. And you know what was probably the worst part of electrocuting my finger? It wasn't the fact that I ran to my mom and I wanted to seek medical attention because I was crying or nothing. No, it was the fact that the second I burnt my finger and I screamed, my brother literally tells me, "Did it work?" And I'm like, "No, my finger just hurts really bad." I even put my hand out against the wall and he's like, try using your powers. It didn't work. I just had a burnt finger. Oh my God, I was such an idiot. All right, now that we got through a little bit of the video and kind of that little intro, I guess we should start, or at least I should start talking about the Light Fury that you guys have been watching for a little bit right now. I've just finished the sketch part. I thought that you guys can just follow that through. It's not really instruction. I mean, line work, my line work isn't always the best. I mean, no one's is, so you should never really panic about that, at least at the beginning of your sketches. I mean, I always try to clean that up, but sometimes it doesn't work. But right now we're in the painting phase of this, and if I was gonna offer some advice, I guess it would be to when you start a painting, avoid using what is it called? My head is blanking. All right, avoid using the airbrush. One, because I heard it from other people who know things, so yeah. And two, because it gives you this dilemma. Okay, you're not fully conscious, like you can't always make decisions because you're always deciding, no, that's not enough, yes it is, no it's not, like I don't know how much value to add right now, no it's too light, it's too dark. No, okay, start like right now how I'm just starting with the standard round brush. Oh, and by the way, I attempted this painting, or I'm doing this painting with using only like, I think, yeah, I've only been using 3 brushes. Okay, that would be the standard round brush, the airbrush, and the, what is it? I use the noise brush for the texture later in the painting. But try using the standard round brush, like, and not even that one, because not even that one has opacity. I'm just using it just for the sake of, for those of you who are watching and want to follow this through with me. I just chose like the 3 brushes, 3 like standard Procreate brushes. That way those of you who are following me can actually like go through with the painting without the mentality or thinking that, oh hey, he's not using the Procreate brushes, how am I gonna do this? No, that's exactly why I wanted this to be a simple tutorial, even though it's like really long. I did this with only 3 brushes. That way those of you who want to follow through with this, or through the painting, and you know, do the same thing, I guess, that way you guys have a shot. Okay, that way it's fair play, and it actually turns out pretty well in the end. I'm actually surprised. I thought it was gonna be ugly. It's good to always use a brush that has such high opacity. Okay, that way you just make coats of paint over paint over paint, and you kind of just make confident decisions. Okay, you're not really picky. You just go with what you're doing, and it's actually a good mentality to do that. Also, another good mentality is to not don't worry about so much about your mistakes. Okay, look, I know it's very easy to click the undo button when you're painting, but I try to get into the mentality of not undoing the button. Like, I know Control Z is so easy. I know the double tapping with 2 fingers. I think it's 2 fingers. I don't know. I forgot. On Procreate to undo. I know it's so easy. Okay, it's actually quite wonderful with digital art. But try to get into the mindset of painting over your mistakes. It actually builds more coats of paint, and by honestly, you could even get some like happy mistakes. Like it's happened to me quite often. But try working with your mistakes, not necessarily getting rid of them, and try having a limitation of layers. I don't like painting with so many layers. Like, when I paint, I always use like a really big canvas. That way I could just I use really big canvases. That way it just it gives me a limitation of layers to use. That way I'm able to just like use only like, I don't know, 11, 10 layers at most. But even then, I still merge them all together. That way, because layers to me, and I noticed to a lot of people, it just winds up being a distraction. And I don't want distractions. Okay, I want to paint. Okay, that is my goal and my mindset. Now, I get it. If you're in a studio or if you're pro, I know that stuff's like really urgently to stay organized. But if you just want to paint something just because you want to paint something, okay, try not to use so many layers. Okay, it winds up being distracting from your focus of the work. Okay, so the next painting you do, I encourage, try using only one layer. Okay, not only is it kind of a fun challenge because you kind of have to work with every mistake you get. At the same time, it kind of sucks. But anyway, just try it out, and if it doesn't work, all right, it doesn't work. But just give it a shot. It works for me. So I mean, for some of you, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Maybe you're gonna hate it. Maybe you're gonna hate me. Hopefully not. But just give it a shot. And let's see, what's another tip? My head is blinking. Oh no, brain fart. I can't think. Here I'm just fixing up some of the stuff that I didn't get at first initially with the sketch. Obviously, I some of the proportions might have been off with the sketch, but sometimes you don't really know that until you start going in with the paint, which is what I'm doing already. So I noticed that the eye is a little lower, and that the neck I might have slimmed down just a little bit. I have to broaden that up because Night Furies and Light Furies, they have some like really muscular necks. Ugh. And then I obviously, now that since I'm gonna be moving the blue part of the eye up, or at least the entire eye, I also have to move the pupil up. And there is a good method to get into when you're trying to do measurements. You see, I took a figure drawing class literally right before this whole corona nonsense happened, and my professor, she actually made it a good point that if you're having trouble with placement or really measurements of any sort, like if I'm gonna measure this eye, right, if I really want to get this eye in the right placement, All right, most of us usually compare it. No, it's too small. It doesn't look right to the other eye. Like, okay, use the entire space. So, okay, if I'm gonna want to place this eye in the right spot, I'm gonna want to look at it. Okay, now, usually I look at things at how far they are from the other eye. All right, but how far does this measure from the side of the head? Or how high, and from like the side of the head, how far does that measure from the top of the ears? And maybe from the top of the eye, maybe how far does that measure from the top of the head? So they're all connected. It's like Connect Four. Bing, 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 bing. Anyway, like that doesn't even sound like dominoes, but whatever. They're all connected. Like so, if you kind of technically get one of those right, the rest of the parts should line up. Okay. It just takes like a really skilled set of eyes to do that. Okay. Maybe not even like it. It's like just learn to eyeball where your measurements are and how far you can depict them from each other, and then you'll begin to notice that you'll start getting very good at eye placement, really any kind of placement, and your overall proportions might wind up looking much better. It just occurred to me. Did I really just call Connect Four dominoes? Now is to start blending everything you have together with the airbrush. Now, you don't want to like completely annihilate any of the colors we've already placed. You want to use them. So really blend them together. And we're going to be painting the eyes in a much smoother shape. Basically getting rid of the standard round brush that we've already placed. You can use either. They're pretty much they work the same. I think for the moment I've been using the standard round brush for a smudge tool. I would use the airbrush, but I don't know. I kind of like having fun with the round brush. And I'm still going in with that, and I'm just gonna be smoothing things out for a bit, as well as the eyes and the outline of the entire shape. Here again, I am fixing what was initially a really trashy sketch because I apparently can't see. I literally can't. I have glasses. I'm fixing up the ears on the top. Apparently I made them too tiny. I have to fix that. We do now. Sorry.
now I'm placing this light source right here, just to serve as a fundamental for when we actually start working on the light of the eye.
just doing some more cleanup with the eraser for the top of the ears, making sure they're as sharp as they can be, and as well as playing with more shadows for the head. It's kind of cool now that we've selected enough colors for this piece, that now I don't really have to start depicting so much, taking so much from the color wheel. Using the eyedropper tool, if you guys don't know how that works, the eyedropper tool is simply a way you can handpick colors without having to rely on the color wheel so much. You basically pick the colors that you already have applied on your canvas. Holding down one finger on the screen, a little color circle will show up. Moving it around the canvas, the second you let go, the color you let go on, that's the color it selects. Now that we have enough colors on this piece, now we are able to, we don't have to rely on the color wheel so much for our colors. We can just, or at least the highlights, because we still need a few shadows. We can just pick a few of the colors that we have already placed here, and just wherever we want to place them again. It's very simple now.
right here, I have to darken this part of the eye, or at least this entire eye, because our light source is coming from the right side. We want to make sure we really push that idea. So this left eye is going to be obviously much darker than the right eye. So I'm going to take one of the darker blues from the corner of this eye, or really just, or handpick it from the color wheel, and just really give this thing like one or two coats, or maybe like 3 coats of a darker blue, just to match the edges of this eye. We just want to get rid of this really bright streak that we know doesn't belong here. Here we can also start to add some of the darker values to the edges of the eye. So using a really dark coat of blue, just gently go with the airbrush on the outside of the eye. Take the eraser to clean out the edges or whatever you don't need from obviously the outside of the eye, as well as taking the eraser and making sure that you keep that nice black pupil pitch black at the moment. Right now we're playing with what's called the core shadow. I'm taking the airbrush and I'm just gently giving it another like a streak on the left side of the eye, just to like really give that nice shadow on the side of the face. Okay, I'm not going too crazy, just like lightly give it like 2 or 3 strokes of black with the airbrush, and actually, yeah, I think this looks pretty good. want to give the background a little bit more of a dark tone, at least from the top, because I noticed that's how it is. That's how it's supposed to be, and just so it simply makes Light Fury pop more, because we've been throughout the painting so far I've just kept it like one tone, just so I can have somewhat of an idea what the colors really are. But now that we're actually getting there, I want to darken it, at least the top, because obviously the bottom's going to be like a beach layer, but we won't add that till a little bit later. At the top, we'll darken right now I'm going to darken it, using one of the, obviously black, using the airbrush. And I'm also balancing out some areas of dark blue or gray on her skull, on her head. And we also don't want to look at her as just a painting, okay? Like, you also want to, if you really want to get into the specifics, you look at her as more than just a character, but like as an actual thing, okay? She's an animal, so obviously an animal comes with bones, tissue, muscle, so you also want to be very careful where you put your shadows, because adding them in the wrong place could make things look disfigured or disjointed, and that's not what we're looking for. We want to make sure that the top of her head is like really nicely smooth, that all the lights and the shadows, they work together, and that really configure the joints that she has and the muscles on the top of her head. I'm taking some highlights and kind of like playing around with those, but also not making them too intense, kind of balancing everything out from the top. Right now I'm adding a little bit of pink to the nose. I noticed that Light Fury, that's actually a physical trait she has, is a little bit of a peach nose, and she doesn't, it's not so noticeable in the reference, but I'm gonna add it anyway, simply because I actually think it'll make a good addition to the whole piece. And I know there's fundamentals that sometimes we have to follow, just because they simply make the paintings better. But if there comes a time when you think you should add something, okay, even if it's not there, I mean, that's totally cool. Okay, improvise, add what you think is cool. Yeah, we have to follow some fundamentals sometimes, but I mean, that shouldn't stop you from adding something that you want. I mean, if you think something would work for you, then go ahead, by all means, do it. And right now I'm adding kind of the dark areas on the kind of outlining the eye in dark creases. That way it kind of has this spherical look that an eye should have. since we're not working on the wings right now, and they're kind of distracting, we're gonna remove them at the moment. We don't need them right now, simply because we're still working from the neck to the top of the head. We'll draw them in once we're good and ready. Now we're adding the highlight of the pupil, kind of in a little sphere motion, like a little. Take the warp tool and kind of work it towards the top of the pupil. That way it fits. Because we'll also be matching that up a little bit to the next part when we add the same thing but to the blue part using a blue highlight. Alright, now that we added somewhat of the basics of the eye, we can begin to add the light of the eye. I used the standard round brush, and you don't really want to smudge that out. You want to keep it this nice clean white circle, not white, but this nice clean white highlighted circle, to really give us the feeling of, well, the eye, the wetness of the eye. Taking the eraser and really getting these little cutouts of that highlighted area really sells the effect to whatever it is she's looking at. Here you can add just a little hint of highlight just to really make the light from this eye pop and give us more of a glow and more values of blue. now that we got a great foundation of the eye, we can begin adding the little, I don't know what you call them, the little lines. I'm sure there's a better term for it. I'm just going to call them the little lines. You can begin adding those. We don't want to go too crazy, but just match them with the outside of the eye. And just make simple little tiny strokes. And even grabbing some of the highlights of the eye, or the blue, some of the light parts of the blue, and make another set of those. Just going back and forth. Just not going completely psycho and filling the entire eye with these little lines. Also, if you guys haven't noticed, I'm also, I hope this isn't an annoying thing I've been doing throughout the video, is rotating my canvas upside down and all over the place. It's because it's a good habit to get into, to look at your painting and your work from different angles to make sure you got some make sure you got everything you want. That's a habit I've already gotten used to. But try it out. It actually works. And for those of you who are following this tutorial, I'm sorry if I keep rotating the canvas. I'll probably do it more throughout the video, so I apologize in advance. here I'm just taking an eraser and just like sharpening out the edges of the ear that I noticed were like a little fuzzy, just also due to the airbrush. Now we're, in my opinion, at the very the most fun part of this painting, is painting the little sparkles Light Fury has on her skin. This part I actually did enjoy a lot. It kind of felt like playing with Christmas lights on a tree. I'm starting to place them, but I don't want to make it too predictable. I kind of want to give it like the sense of stars or space, where stars are like all scattered, very unpredictable in placement, but it still gives us this really nice, beautiful feeling to look at. I probably should have saved this to the end, but I'm like, what the heck. I think it actually is turning out kind of good. I noticed that the mouth was a little too high, so after trying to play with it, I just decided to erase it and just redraw it a little towards the bottom of the chin. That way I can give the top a little bit more light, and while at the same time adding this kind of curvature, like a little bit of shadow above the lip, just to give it this little like loop to give us, you know, the impression that this is the lip of the mouth. Here I'm just adding a little bit more shadow to some of the areas and corners just to give more of her facials a little bit more of a pop. We also want to outline the eyes. Obviously, we don't want to go too crazy with this, but we also want to outline the eyes with a really dark shade of blue, and to just like outline it, just so we have this like little this feeling that the eye kind of goes around, like kind of caves in. You know, like there's a pocket, like there's this little crease that you can go in, like the eye is basically a spear, okay? Like you have it gets like you get more tones and more shadows like when you reach the edges and the roundness of the eye. I really want to begin like focusing on the contrast of this piece, so I can, since I'm always keeping everything to a really low minimum of layers, I can I just I merge them all together, and I can just as easily play with the hue and saturation as well as the darkness of the light fury. In doing this, I think it makes it look a lot better. That way it doesn't look so light, and just that way it doesn't look a little too bright. now that we're on the verge of pretty much finishing and polishing up her body and her head, now we can really begin to add in the wings that we cut out earlier. I kept her in a layer. I'm always keeping her in her own layer aside from the background. So placing in the wings should be just as easy as it was taking them out in the first place. And color picking with what we already have on her, it'd be easy to select the colors and just go back and forth from there. Since we've been playing with the airbrush for the entire painting, I've begun to notice that, and I'm sure you guys have too, that she's getting this really digital feel. I know that's actually one of the reasons, and one of the big reasons those who refuse to use airbrushes refuse to use them. It's because there's always this painterly feel. There's always this digital feel to using the airbrush. Like, oh my god, everything's so smooth and it's a little too perfect. So I've selected the noise brush. It is also a Procreate brush. I'm using this to add some kind of a texture or grain to her skin to give us more of that feeling, that appearance, that we're not looking at a digital brush, we're looking at an actual dragon skin. This like, we want to give it texture, okay? Giving it texture is really going to sell the fact that this is real skin, and this isn't more of like an airbrush feel. Let's lighten the background a little bit, at least at the bottom ground, just to give it more of the appearance of sand and like they're on the beach. Right here, I'm making a new layer. I'm placing it above everything, and I'm obviously turning the dial to black. I'm taking the airbrush and I'm adding just a stroke, like just a slight stroke of a shadow on the left side of Light Fury, just to give her that more of a contrast, like that. We just really want to push the darkness on the left side, just so it really makes the right side of the colors, the right light, really like stand out a little bit more, and that way everything doesn't look too lighten up, just to make it look better overall. But make it only slightly. We don't want to make the left side a little too dark. After that, take an airbrush eraser and kind of hit that bounce light that she has on the left side of her face, going down, just that little light that she has just on the side of the shadow. Just maybe brighten it up by getting rid of what we just added, the shadow, just a little bit, because we don't want to take that away either. here I'm playing with the lasso tool to give me more of a to make it a little easier to hit that edge of the corner and alpha lock it, just so I can really get the shadow in there really properly and give it this like really simple shadow right there without having to play with an eraser so much. And I've been finding it very useful throughout my paintings when I want to reach little areas that are like really annoying to hit. If I was just to grab a paintbrush and erase the edges, it's just, if you want to avoid that, I find the lasso tool very helpful for hitting really tight edges.
Here on the nose, I'm adding just a little bit of a highlight more, just to make the pink like kind of like a light pink, a really light pink, just to make the nose pop a little bit more. I kind of think it gives it this little like adorable vibe. A bit of the noise brush a little bit more, adding more of light on above the ear, and maybe a little bit of a light blue on the bottom of the neck, and just adding more highlights to some corners of the right side that I think could use it.
now I'm just cleaning things up. Just adding maybe a little few more shadows everywhere. Cleaning up some highlights. Maybe adding like hints of, I think I call it like little light hints of purple on some parts of the neck, and I've been adding a little bit of purple all over the face just to give it this more enchanting colors. Maybe adding a few more of these little stars all over her face, but not such saturated ones because we've already added too many. For those of you who stuck around for this painting, that's awesome. All right. Any of you who actually went through with it and painted the thing, all right, share your work with me on Instagram. I would love to see it. All right. I will feature those paintings in my next video. For anyone who who followed through with this really like long tutorial, I give you like props. Okay. I hope my instructions weren't that complicated. I hope you guys enjoyed all of it. I meant to get through with this much sooner. I didn't get around to it. I'm sorry, guys. But it's out now. I actually really like how this piece turned out. I'm actually really impressed that I only did this with like 3 brushes, but I probably could have only done it with 2. But like, comment, subscribe. I would like to hear your guys' thoughts on the video. If you guys have any other awesome tips, any tutorials you guys want to do, like maybe how to draw faces, paint hair. I obviously, when I do that stuff with you guys, I'm obviously learning too. We're in this together, okay? We're gonna see how this works out. Like I said before, I'm new to this whole YouTube thing, so if you have any harsh comments, just bend them a little. I'm just kidding. All right. This has been fun, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Sayonara.